So the world is in an absolute all-out war right now, and it's just insane from all different sides. There's independent wars, there are just random alliance wars, there's crusades going on still. I mean, it's been a complete mess, and I'm hoping it stays like this for the last 21 turns.
21 years, Drew. Come on. 21 years. You can do it. You can remember years, turns, years, turn. We're playing EU4, so it's years. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and check over the armies, and I know I showed you that I'm not going to, or I told you guys in the last video that I didn't want to show too much of the score. Even I have no idea what's going on. But I do want to, it's always okay to look at the armies, and let's go ahead and review over that. So, currently, Persia is still at number 1, and remember, Persia is technically at war, but they're at war with a lot of the African nations, so I don't think they're going to have too much of an impact there. I don't think they're going to get too much military access, and I think they'll be fine, although what is this here? Really quick, who is that? That's Rome. Okay, so I was just wondering, that was like a red, so I was like, is that Persia? Is that Rome? Who knows? Is it Venice? I don't know. But yeah, Persia's still dominating here with the hugest army in the world. Assyria is actually in second place, but not even at half. Not even at half strength. And remember, Persia's been at peace for a really long time, so I guess we should have expected this. They also have quite a bit of manpower. Not the best manpower in the world. Technically, Sweden has the most amount of manpower, and that's because Sweden has kind of played this kind of Russian role. There's a lot of manpower in the provinces that they were able to take away and steal away from Catherine, so that explains a lot. So I guess that really explains why they have almost 70,000 manpower. Not that many in their actual armies right now, but it doesn't matter. I mean, they're absolutely fine. They're just fine. Russia is doing pretty good as well, because this is still a lot of good territory for men in general. Poland's doing okay. Byzantium, surprisingly enough, Byzantium's doing really well. But Byzantium has been dealing with rebel issues for a very, very long time, and that probably won't end up end at all. I think those rebel issues are going to be continuing to plague the Byzantium Empire for the rest of this game. So, let's go back here. So Russia's at 3, just behind the Assyrians. And again, Russia's not been at war for a while. You'll probably see a lot of the nations in the top 5, maybe top 7. They're in those spots because they just haven't been at war for a while. That's why this ledger, this army, ledger review is just really important to always constantly look back at, because depending on who's been at war and what's going on in the world, it's constantly changing. It's very interesting. So France is still doing okay, even though France is dealing with a huge coalition. Just all the surrounding nations are at war with Napoleon. They still have the forces to be able to kind of push back. But remember, the problem with France is that they've got a lot of their colonies in the South Pacific, and they're protecting. They're invested way too much here, and they're not invested. Oh, I didn't even realize there are rebels out here. That's pretty cool. They're invested way too much in their colonies in the South Pacific. I did see a French fleet try to, I guess, attempt to take a pretty big stack of regiments back up towards their home territory. Oh, here it is, I think. Yeah, that's it right there. Okay, and they're about to make it back home soon. It might be a little bit too late because, as I said, they're facing a huge coalition. England, the Netherlands, Spain, Morocco, Carthage, Florence, Venice, Greece. No, Germany's not involved, but Russia is. And, well, Russia probably doesn't have military access, but you never know. I mean, military access is always a random thing that now is gifted a lot more easily through wars now and common sense. So anyways, Egypt's doing a pretty good job as well. Netherlands, yeah, so pretty much the Netherlands could go toe-to-toe practically with the French, but I mean, obviously they're doing even better than going toe-to-toe because they have the Venetians and the Florentines as well helping them out. So it's pretty crazy. Zulu are doing an amazing job as well. I'm very proud of the Zulu in the South African region. Really, really glad that they're doing so well. And let's go ahead and double check on the navies, because this will probably be about the last time we check on it before the very, very end of the campaign and before we announce the winner. So this is probably a good time to double check on it. So France still controls the biggest navy in the world at 113 ships. Wow, their force limit is at 183. And by far the #1 in the world. That's why I thought Napoleon still has a really dominating naval support, I guess. And I didn't even check force limit for armies. 237 for the Persians, and no one is even close to Persia. That's what I figured. Netherlands are doing a pretty good job too. Egypt's doing a good job as well. They are collecting a lot of money from the Alexandria trade node because so many of the Europeans are transferring from these islands out here. Alexandria is kind of getting more and more money from this trade node, which means that Egypt is able to raise up. Dang, 71.4. 71.4. That's probably the most, by far, the most valuable trade node in the entire world. Definitely. I'm thinking it is. Wow. How did... Dang. No wonder Egypt's doing so good. They've got so much money. And I imagine... let's see how much exactly. Yeah. They have 61% of the trade power. Whoa. Now that is insane. I was not expecting that. And then finally, so we have Sweden. Oh, wow. I didn't realize Sweden actually had... They're way over their force limit. Dang, Sweden. Pretty ballsy move there. And then we have the Egyptians, the Zulu, and then the Greeks. Wow, the Greeks. Oh, that's interesting. In the fifth spot. Anyways, let's continue onward. While we have this kind of going on in the background, we will review over the wars. There are 5 wars currently going on. The New World has kind of broken out, or kind of now remains in peace. There were all these crazy things that were going on. Obviously, Canada grabbing so much of this territory here. Canada's, I think, going to be able to push back these American separatists because they managed to get up a 15 stack. And this is a pretty big moment for them actually right now. Let's go ahead and review over this. Yep, and they got it. Okay. And more than likely they're going to take out this 6 stack. So Canada's going to remain in control, I think, of all these lands. They need to unsiege these provinces as fast as possible, obviously, but pretty impressed. And Brazil actually has way too many of their troops stationed inside of the USA. They actually might be in a bit of a situation because they are in a bit of a situation. I didn't realize. Oh my goodness. So because... I'm surprised that La Plata didn't also... So the West Indies ganged their... Oh, so La Plata is involved in this war. Wait, I'm really confused here. Hold on. The West Indies... Oh, Netherlands, La Plata, and Peru. Oh my gosh. It doesn't matter though. They've got... Oh no, they're doing okay. They've got 11 war score. So I didn't realize that it wasn't just the West Indies. It was all of William's colonies that are trying to attempt their own independence. That's a pretty big one. But France is getting dominated in Europe. I'm not sure how much that's going to have an impact. A lot of these right now they absolutely dominate the New World with all the French colonies as well as the Netherlands colonies, but we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Not really sure what Arabia is trying to do, but they're at -17. They're probably not going to win. Rome never wins these crusades. It's been a long time since they've won their last crusade. Assyria is doing a great job against the French. And the Austrians and Germany once again at it. And Riga is actually helping them out. Wow, wait a second. Germany's losing really, really bad. The Austrians have 37 war score right now. That is impressive. I'm shocked. Well, I mean, good for Austria. They've remained in this game. Riga is even landed here. I'm assuming they used some transport ships around the Baltic Sea to land in northern Germany. Whoa. Oh yeah, so this is pretty crazy. Now let's kind of keep an eye on those French ships that are moving. Where did they go? I just had eyes on it. Although, no? I don't know where they went. Maybe they're going back. Maybe they're just like, whatever, it's a lost cause. Let's go back for Assyria. Because Assyria is sieging out some things. Arabia is going to probably take... Oh, that's right. Arabia wants this English territory. Not too much. They want a little bit, though. I get that. Arabia is also at war with the Zulu, so technically they can keep going. Again, my favorite part, I think that Madagascar is probably my favorite looking island. I don't know why, it's just kind of interesting. France controlling the southern half and England controlling the northern half. Oh my gosh, Egypt has almost got full control over the remaining parts, the remaining uncolonized lands of Siberia. Good for Egypt. Very good for them. I mean, they had the ducats, and that's probably why their colonization has been so hardcore, because they just have the money to be able to sustain that sort of thing. Lots and lots of rebels, revolutionary rebels. Whoa, and those are a lot too. Does Louisiana have anything to be able to stop that? It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it. You know, Louisiana, wait a second. So English Louisiana is not doing so well. I wouldn't be surprised if Louisiana, the independent Louisiana, declares war at some point. I mean, England's dealing with a lot of different wars right now, so they could definitely do it. This would be the time to do it. What are you guys doing, Canada? You better unsiege this stuff, or bad things are gonna happen. You know the bad things are gonna happen if you don't do something about this. Okay, so 2 wars now. Wait a second. So it looks like the West Indies did not gain their independence, and that's because France got absolutely dominated again. So it's very clearly the 2 superpowers, and that's William versus Napoleon. Technically, Spain is still at war with France. We'll see if Spain manages to take anything. Austria took away some things from Germany. And is Rome still at war? No, Rome is not at war. They didn't take... Wait a second, how'd their colony do? Oh, Rome has finally started to begin to lose their colony in Africa. They had such a strong hold. This Roman African colony was such a strong hold for Augustus for a while, but now they're finally starting to lose it. It's pretty, I really am enjoying the somewhat accuracy of this game. I love how the natives are now starting to finally push back, some of this territory that the Europeans have grabbed. It's really interesting, kind of seeing that sort of unfolds in front of us. Okay, and now there's only one more remaining war. It's Assyria and Spain versus France. Nothing else remains, and Arabia actually didn't take anything away from England, so they let them go. Everything else seems to be the same. Netherlands doing an excellent job. Surprised that the Netherlands didn't go after more, but I guess they don't need more. They have control over a lot of really valuable provinces there, so pretty smart move by them. No more independences. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit more wars break out in the New World. I'm expecting that actually to happen. Assyria is actually going to win this. I'm not sure exactly what they're going to take. Oh, it's a reconquest. Oh. Why didn't I read the Casus Belli sooner? Drew, come on. Come on, Drew. Come on. Oh, we got some pirates out this way. That's cool. And someone's been black flagged, which means that this war has ended. Oh, no, it hasn't. No, Persia's just now finally starting to make it back over there. Let me look at exactly what province this is. Suburbia. Oh, yep, that's what I figured. They want this stuff. Wow, that huge war just for these one or two provinces. No, three. Okay, I'll give it to them. It's three. But for them, I don't know, Assyria. That's interesting. It's ballsy, I guess you could say. Ballsy for you to declare this huge thing for just three provinces in the South Pacific. But hey, I'm not gonna judge you, man. This is cool. It's whatever you want, man. As long as if you're on board, then I'm on board. It's fire either way. Canada's gonna survive, and Canada's looking good. I don't think Louisiana. Oh, you know what? They're gonna be okay. English Louisiana's got a 17 stack, and actually, I don't see any more of the rebels. So I think everything might be fine. Louisiana, dude, real Louisiana, independent Louisiana. This is your time. This is your time. Go after it. Call in Canada. Hopefully they'll help you out. I don't know if they will. And do it. The truce with Canada and the USA is about to end soon at 1808. I think that's something to keep in mind here as we approach the end, because obviously Canada and the USA really don't like each other. Clearly, it was a pretty big move for Canada to take all of those provinces away from Washington. And yeah, I mean, that is going to be everything. You know what's so funny, and it makes me want to just tear my hair out, is that this frickin' province, these two provinces in Europe still have yet to be colonized. What is going on? Well, everything is going to be colonized except for those two provinces. And both of them could have been colonized by Florence. Florence can't go anywhere else. They've been completely locked off. Why would you not go for it, Florence? Come on. You're a disappointment. Oh, I didn't realize Spain had grabbed back some of their former cores. Ooh, taking a slight jab at the French Empire. That was pretty significant. Not bad. Yeah, two provinces. All right. Yeah, that was a good move. This is going to be close. This is going to be a lot closer than I think a lot of people think. And then again, Persia's kind of halted their own expansion, so unless they maybe go to war with Babylon, pick up a few more provinces, they were catching up really fast. They were in the third place spot. I think arguably they have the biggest army, most powerful army in the world, but due to their positioning, they can't really fight anybody that's super weak around them. I guess the Ottomans would be a good choice, as well as Byzantium. No, they could go to war with it, but Assyria is pretty strong, and Assyria is going to be calling in their allies. And I know they don't want to go to war with Sweden, who is one of their own allies, Persia's ally. They probably don't want to ruin that. The Zulu, they probably don't want to go to war with the Netherlands, because they know the Netherlands. Actually, you know what? Anyone could really go to war with the Netherlands, because William's not reinforcing these lands. They're completely open to anybody. And I'm shocked that, Persia hasn't realized that. I know that there is a fog of war that the AI can't see. They can't see what's going on in this territory, so maybe they think that there's stuff going on, but I'm just shocked. That's right, I forgot about France grabbing a little bit of the tip of South Korea here. That's pretty cool. No more independent colonies staying. I have to say, that was probably one of my favorite aspects of this entire campaign, was just the independent colonies that was just constant wars and the declares of independences and the Europeans that were getting involved. And I don't know, that was really, really shocking. And it seems like the war has really slowed down here. It slowed down by a lot. How's Venice doing? Venice is doing good. They're still allied to the Netherlands, Russia, Babylon, and Assyria. Okay. Yeah, that's not bad. They're not allied to Florence anymore, though. That's pretty shocking. Actually, that's really bad. How do they feel to... Oh, they don't like each other. Venice's opinion of Florence is actually at -88. Florence doesn't hold the same distaste. It's only at -26 for Florence. But still, I mean, I don't know. I mean, could Florence get wiped out at the very end here? It's possible. Because I know that Rome doesn't like Florence. Rome has never liked Florence. Wait a second. Who is Florence even allied to right now? This might be a really bad situation. Oh, well, as long as they're allied to William, I guess they're going to be okay. Somewhat. I mean, no one really wants to step on William's toes right now. And they're allied to Spain. So they got really lucky with those alliances. Very smart move there. I would say Poland is kind of shocking that they didn't do more. I know that for a while they were strong, and then eventually they kind of needed to fight their way out of the position that they were in, and they didn't do that. They declared a few wars, but they didn't take enough from those wars. They dominated their wars, but I think the AI lacked in choosing, exactly what to take in their war score. Obviously, they took all this land and they were really big and powerful for a while there. And then the Eastern nations started to colonize, and they colonized more and more and more, and they got bigger and bigger and bigger, and their font got awesomer and awesomer and awesomer. And then, Poland, it was like all they had to do was like punch their way out of like almost a paper bag. But they let the Eastern nations get too powerful. I understand why they didn't expand too much in Western Europe, but the Eastern nations, they could have. And they lacked it with the Ottomans. And I think they maybe played way too conservative with their alliances. I know that right now it's a little bit different because things change over time. Persia was a good alliance when they picked that up, but they were allied to some interesting nations, and I think that maybe they should have been allied to Sweden. Maybe they shouldn't be allied to Riga. Imagine if they weren't. That's an easy couple provinces they could have picked up. A lot, actually. And it would have been pretty simple, I think, for them. They have, I think, arguably, a way stronger army than Riga. I know that would have pulled them into a war, maybe with Sweden, but they would have been okay. Also, Riga's allied to the Ottomans. I'm shocked about that. I wasn't expecting that. Ooh, so maybe we'll go into I doubt. There's no way we'll go into a final, maybe like around 15 years of peace. That's no way that's going to happen. I wonder what's going to happen with these Australians. Australian peasants. What does that mean exactly if the whole thing gets sieged out? I'm really shocked that the rebels didn't have more of an impact on this game. I figured they would. Oh, Arabia probably wanted this stuff. Oh, that's what Arabia wanted. They didn't care about this stuff here. So Arabia did peace out Elizabeth for something. Well, good for them. And how's Egypt? Egypt's doing good. Boom. I thought that more things would have been taken by Sweden, but Sweden has stopped, and they have been getting involved in a lot of separate wars, so it makes sense. I mean, Sweden has been a mess, and I'm actually shocked that Sweden hadn't done a little bit better. I thought that at the very least, if they controlled this much, they probably would have been able to maybe be in the top 3, but they're not even in the top 3 last time we checked. I mean, who knows how it is now, but last time we checked, they weren't even in the top 3, which I was just absolutely shocked by. I figured it would have been... I don't know. I thought that them in the top 3 would have been interesting. I don't know. It's also been a factor in this game that I've been shocked by, that because there's only 32 nations, there are really interesting alliances, and everyone is kind of allied to each other. Almost everyone's allied to each other. I'm really going to look into other mods into the next one. Other mods to maybe potentially, liven it up. If you guys have any suggestions, any suggested mods that maybe I should use for the next AI-only campaign, please leave me a comment in the section below. I will definitely look into it. I want to look into a few different things. I would like to lessen the alliances that are going on. I wish, if anyone knows a mod that maybe can maybe remove the amount of alliances down to maybe 1 or 2. I'd rather not, if there's only 32 nations, I'd rather them not get all 4 alliances each, because it gets too complicated. I'd love to get 1 or 2 alliances each. Anyways, guys, I'm going to have to stop right there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.